Hi, it's Peter here from the Romford Film Festival team. I'm delighted to be joined with Lee Hunter,
Hello.
who is the writer and co-lead of a wonderful short film called On My Own.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me.
That's all right. You're welcome. Lovely to see you.
Great. And I believe we've got 3 nominations, at least 3 nominations this year at the
Yeah,
festival.
I think it's 4.
4
Yeah.
in fact. Oh, that's right. So we've got yourself for...
So we
lead
are
actor.
up for, I'm lucky enough to be up for Best Actor. The film's up for Best Screenplay.
Yep.
We're
Best
up for
local
the
film?
Best Local Film and the Judges'
Yep,
Prize.
and the
as
jury
well.
prize.
Jury
Right,
prize, sorry.
exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Yeah, I mean, we all really love this film. And
Oh, thank you.
we were glad that you came. We were hoping you would come because I was really looking forward to talking to you about the film.
Oh, lovely.
So you wrote the film, Lee.
Yeah.
Tell us what it's about.
So it's a two-hander. It was originally a theatre piece that I performed with Tony, the other actor in the film. We performed it in London about 5 years ago. And his brother's an editor, a film editor, and he said this would make a cracking short film. And it's something that's always kind of been on my mind to sort of use our skill set, as it were, to create a film, to create the discussion around sort of mental health and suicide. You know, it's a very prevalent thing in society at the moment. I know 3 guys that I grew up with that unfortunately have committed suicide. You know, it's the biggest killer of guys our age. So
It is, yeah, very much.
we need to be talking. We need to get that discussion going. So
Yeah, so the film begins, you play like a janitor
yeah,
on the rooftop,
Yeah.
and it's set in London, right on a high building.
that's right. Yeah.
And you stumble across a guy who's on the edge of the building, and metaphorically and physically on the edge.
Yeah.
And that's the film sort of goes from there, and they talk about life and things, don't they?
Yeah.
So you perform these on stage, you say?
Originally, yeah, and then we sort of adapted it into a film script over a period of time and got a production team on board who liked the script, and sort of I workshopped it with Tony and sort of adapted it for screen, and yeah, we shot it. God, how long ago was it now? About 18 months ago, 2 years ago now. So,
Okay. How long did it
yeah.
take to develop the script?
I was working it on and off for about a year or so. Yeah.
And how long was the shoot?
The shoot was 2 days. It was very full on, very intense. We shot it on the Old Trim Brewery in East London.
Okay.
Fantastic location, brilliant location. But yeah, lots to think about. Obviously, shooting at height and outside and that sort of stuff with noise. So yeah, it was an interesting, quite stressful, but interesting and quite intense and fun at the same time.
Who did you? Do you want to talk about how you cast the other role?
Yeah, sure. So basically, Tony and I live together. We're both jobbing actors, and we were sort of at work at the time, frustrated and sort of moaning about how little work was about. I suffered terribly with insomnia. And a few weeks before the idea came into my head, I was doing a bit of labouring work for my dad. He runs a fire protection business, and we went onto this site, and the maintenance manager was taking us around and showing us fire exits and all that kind of stuff. And he said, a few days back, one of the financiers on the top floor, it was a circular sort of courtyard. We were stood in the bottom of this courtyard inside this office building. And he said, on the top floor 3 days ago, one of the financiers lost a fortune for his company, came onto the ledge, jumped off while people were coming in from Pret, and
I think I heard that story.
yeah, so that really stuck in my mind, and I thought, you know, how horrendous, and that entire day it was just sat heavy, and sort of, I guess the creative in me was sort of thinking, if I saw someone in that situation, what would I do? What would the conversation be to try and prevent that, try and stop that? And I guess that's where the idea sort of sat in my head. Like I said, I suffer terribly with insomnia, so I sat up one night in my underwear in my bed till 4 a.m. Wrote out this script, showed it to Tony the next day. He really liked it, and we sat in our front room and worked it and reworked it together. You know, things that did work. Then I rewrote it again and we performed it. And that's kind of how we developed the piece. It was quite collaborative in that sense. I mean, I did the writing, but I was really lucky to have an actor to sort of bounce it off and hear it out loud. So with that character, I always had Tony's voice in mind. So it was kind of cast from the start, really.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So did you film it before lockdown?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, and so what happened in that period? Obviously you were waiting, were you developing while the country was locked down? Did you take that time to make the film, or did you show it online when it was already finished at that point?
Yeah, so we've been very lucky with the film. The BBC held a private screening for us just before lockdown, just as this was sort of happening.
Mm-hmm.
So we screened it at Television Centre, literally at the very start of the pandemic. we've been selected to 16 festivals worldwide, which has been mainly predominantly online screenings, obviously with what's going on. So this is our kind of first live event, which is very exciting. We held a private screening to raise money for Mind mental health, for Calm, sorry, for Calm mental health charity. We raised over £500 for them. So yeah, it's mainly been online sort of stuff. But like I said, it's been great to sort of come to a live event.
Now that festivals have started being physically again, are you going to show it? Are you going to take it to other festivals?
Yeah, so we're still waiting to hear on probably, I'd say, half a dozen to 10 festivals. Okay. And then Tony and I are going to have a conversation whether we sort of ask charities if they want to use it to sort of to create those sort of discussion points, or educational. We're not sure where the journey of the film goes, but I do kind of want it to be used. It was never made as a commercial project, even though it's been taken on board by an airline. It wasn't made to sort of make money at all. It was made as that sort of tool to sort of stimulate a conversation.
Yeah, the message behind it is really strong, and something, as you say, everyone, especially guys, you know, we're probably a similar age, as you say. Suicide is the biggest killer men under 40, I believe. So
absolutely, yeah.
It's something that needs to be really discussed, and is a terrific piece of work.
Thank you.
As a starting point.
Yeah, well, that's always been the goal, really. When Tony and I have spoke about it all the way through, we just want. We've got friends who have suffered with mental illness, and you know, in our industry, there's highs and lows all the time. So Tony and I have been very down at times, and we've been very lucky that we've had really good support networks around us. But some people A, don't have that, or B, don't feel that they can communicate that or articulate that, and there is still that stigma. There is, and that's what we really want to try and sort of break down. That's the goal.
Great stuff. Yeah. So yourself, project-wise, what are you working on now? I know you've just sort of come from something, or you're just going to something. Are you allowed to say anything
I'm going to do that really cliche actor thing. I've signed an NDA, so I'm not allowed to say, I'm afraid.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so it's exciting to be working. I feel very grateful to be working in the current climate, because a lot of my good actor friends are not, you know, the opportunities are just starting to pick up again. You know, it's starting to get going again, but it's very slow and hesitant because of what's going on. So yeah, very lucky.
What about writing? Have you got any ideas?
Yeah, I'm working on about 3 or 4. Okay. I'm terrible for that. I'll start writing an idea, then I'll have another idea. Okay. So yeah, I've got a feature film script on the go, another short, a theatre piece, and I've started a treatment for another film as well. So.
Amazing. Sounds like you're going to be busy.
Yeah, it kind of keeps me, especially over this period that we've had, where we've been indoors, and it's just kept the creative juices flowing and kept me sane, to be honest, in that kind of creative capacity where, you know, my industry's been very quiet. So.
Yeah, a lot of people have found that, you know, it's been creating things, writing or painting or cooking, you know, all that kind of creative stuff. It's very important to keep the old brain going.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's kept my mind healthy anyway, and
That's good.
yeah, so it's been useful for that.
Thank you so much for joining me.
No worries, it's been lovely to.
It's been great to chat, and thank you so much for submitting your film. It was so good. We enjoyed it so much. And
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Nominated a lot of times. So yeah, we all really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.